Recently I read that our collective attention spans have been shrinking. With a portal in my pocket to infinite entertainment, I'm not surprised. So for the next month, I've got 2 new rules. No phone in bed and no social media before 3 p.m. All right, day 1. This morning I woke up at 5:50 a.m. to a workout and I pulled out my phone to go on Instagram and I was like, oh, I'm not allowed to do that. So I closed it and I instantly reopened it again. It's a habit and that's what we're going to try and break. I had a really productive day filming and testing my first keyboard build. At 3 p.m, I went on Instagram and it was for maybe 15 minutes and then I thought I could be playing some PC games right now. And I had like way more fun playing games for an hour instead of scrolling my feed. With each of our lives being as complicated and intricate as each other's, it's important to highlight my starting point for this challenge. For over 2 years, I've had notifications disabled for all social media apps. This brought the biggest change in temptation for checking alerts. It's like if I say, don't think of an elephant, you think of one. So if your phone dings, it's really hard to not think about that social media notification. Just get rid of it. And at night, I charge my phone away from arm's reach in the ensuite. In the morning, if I want to check something on my phone, I have to get out of bed. So I may as well just start my day. And this is known as environmental hacking. So these new rules are more of a refinement to my existing behavior. All right, week 1 is done. Did well with the no phone in bed, except for Saturday. I was awake at like 5 and I was like, I don't have anything to do right now. And then I realized for like 20 minutes later that I kind of broke the rule. However, I'm consistently using social media before 3 p.m. in the week. So why 3 p.m? Good question. My morning starts with personal tasks from 6 to 8, followed up by 3 2-hour work blocks. I know my focus is best first thing in the morning, so I really try to protect that initial block from distractions that could fork my attention into tangents. You might be thinking, Cam, why don't you just uninstall the apps? Sure, it works for some people, but I'm always seeing new, exciting, distracting technology being released, and I'm more interested in finding a strategy as a solution to extract as much value from the situation. And so for this, I think I need to change how my phone works. The plan to not bring up my phone and by habit just like jump back on Instagram is to try and find like a different default launcher on my Android phone so that I'll see different apps at different times of the day. The last resort is to uninstall them. Sounds good in theory, but I tried a handful of different launchers and I couldn't find one that allowed me to change the apps depending on time of day. So I settled for the indistractable launcher, which gives me minimal widgets up top and then a list of my favorite apps. A swipe to the right shows everything else. However, I can hide apps from this list, forcing me to consciously search for the name. Hopefully removing the bright, exciting icons and possibility of stumbling on a social media app will increase my chance of focus. All right, it's week 3. There's an insane feeling of FOMO, waking up and not checking Instagram, Threads now, new app out. Fact is, it wouldn't change what I'm going to do in my day. Even if there's a new product released, I don't have it in my hands, so I can't make a video about it. I feel frustrated at myself for still using the apps. How do I make it to 3 without using any? I don't know, man. Write a comment in the chat. This is a live stream. Maybe I should ask Christian. That's a good idea. This is my friend Christian. He's got a good balance between tech for work and life. How do you limit getting distracted on social media?
It's a great question. Previously, like you go to a job, it's kind of awkward if you're looking at your phone all the time. Yeah. If you're sitting at your own desk at home, then it's a lot more of a pull because it's just right there. Physical space, so having it in a different part of the room is really handy. Do your work or do your house chores or do your whatever, then take that 15-20 minutes to sit and watch YouTube guilt-free. It's sort of like almost like a reward-based thing. I've got 2 phones. I've got one for work, which is a smartphone, and then now I've got a light phone, which just texts and calls. And so my family know they have that number, and my close friends have that number. It's helped be focused, and when I'm with family, I'm spending family time. When I'm with work, I'm doing work. And so it's just sort of sectioned out my life a bit better.
So physical distance, reward-based, and if needed, remove the ability altogether. But what about sausage rolls? Buckle up. So I love events that have party sausage rolls. Each time the party comes around, I'm getting like 1, 2, mate, I'm cleaning up. In the end though, I've eaten about 2 to 3 equivalent sausage rolls opposed to the one that I would intentionally sit down and eat. And with each party-sized offering, I'm distracted from the conversation and it takes a bit to get back into the flow. And if you're like me, you work best when you're in the flow state. That's why the book Stolen Focus highlights the flow can only come when you are monotasking, when you choose to set aside everything else and do one thing. Whilst party size is fun, you run the risk of consuming more than you would intentionally, and each interruption has an impact. All right, it's currently filming some product shots. I need to do my 4th week check-in. Nothing's changed. You might ask why. And to that I say, I don't know. I've been writing down how many times I think I've been opening the app on the paper. This here is telling me a completely different story. For me, social media means Instagram. I'm rarely on Facebook or TikTok. So if we look at my Instagram usage data, you can see like some days I'm opening it 20 times before 3 p.m., but only using it for about 35 minutes. This is because a lot of the times I opened the app, I immediately closed it. So I didn't record those down on my manual record. Week 3 definitely has some big spikes, which you can see some outliers here. And if we put a trend line through this scatter plot, it actually will tell us that the more times I opened the app, the more time I spent on it. The miracle of data. For real though, what's most important is if we overlay the hourly usage each day, you can see I was able to push most usage into the afternoon. And I attribute this to not consuming at my desk and instead on my breaks out in the living room, which makes it more of a reward-based system, which is what Christian mentioned. I know it's basic, but it means less play size interruptions, so more focus. After watching the movie June, I was forced to read the book to get the second half of the story. For someone that didn't read books, this took many nights, but it showed me what not using my phone before sleep feels like. My eyes are more rested, I fall asleep earlier, so I get more sleep. I then got more energy and stronger willpower the next day to stay on task and be focused, which then has a compounding effect day after day. As long as it's non-fiction or else I'm just problem solving my brain. I'm gonna keep the no phone in bed rule. It's been fantastic, but for social media, I'm gonna try and shift it to breaks or as far back in the day as possible. Like anything self-help related, take from this video what you find useful and discard the rest. If you liked today's video, thumbs it. If you loved it, sub it, and I'll see you in the next tech review, project, or challenge.
Is it how I want to spend all my time? And do I want it to be the thing that interjects, oh, when I'm having dinner with my wife, or when I'm like about to go to sleep? Is that really what the last thing I want to think about?